Water is life. Water is livelihood. Rivers are the major source of water. They're a sign of life, prosperity, and civilization. Delta, the region where the river meets the sea, is considered a bastion of such civilization. The fifth largest delta ecosystem of the world, Indus Delta of Pakistan, has been highly rich in its biodiversity and natural resources of agriculture, fisheries, livestock, and wetlands. Alas, this gift of nature is dying. Indus Delta is dying slowly and gradually. The cause is the reduction in Indus flow's downstream Kotri barrage due to mega irrigation infrastructure on the Indus River. Watered by the glaciers of the Karakoram and the Hindu Kush, Indus is Pakistan's largest river. In its journey down the Himalayas to the Punjab and Sindh, Indus River has been bestowing this region with fresh water, bringing prosperity to the people, creating and nourishing civilizations. Traces of such civilizations are still evident in the form of Mohenjo-daro and other archaeological sites. After passing a long journey of hope and prosperity, Indus meets with another might of nature, the sea in the region called the Indus Delta. Contrary to the mislaid notion in many parts of Pakistan that Indus Delta might be a very small fishing ground, historically the whole region downstream Hyderabad city has remained the deltaic region. The river brought large quantities of fresh water along a large sediment load in the delta. Due to a frequent change in the river course, it deposited sediments over a wide area, extending new lands into the sea and expanding the delta area. Delta lands were ideal for agriculture. Rice was produced to the extent that it was not only sufficient for the region but was exported to various regions of Kathiawar, Muscat, Aden and other Gulf regions. The deltaic people had developed their own sea and river trade routes. Their exports also included timber, wool, bones, hides and fishery products. Situated on the borders between Pakistan and India, from Karachi to the Great Run of Kutch, present-day Indus Delta is a typical fan-shaped delta. It covers an area of about 600,000 hectares. It has 17 major creeks, innumerable minor creeks and mudflats. About 260,000 hectares of the delta are covered with mangroves. The overall total population of the deltaic region, including fisher folk villages of Karachi and two coastal districts of Sindh, namely Thatta and Badin, constitutes more than 7% of Sindh's total population. The biodiversity and natural resources of the Indus Delta are under constant threat of degradation. The damage to the Indus Delta started way back in the 1890s, when the Punjab irrigation system was developed. Subsequent barrages, dams and link canals also badly affected the Indus flow's downstream Kotri barrage. Over the last 60 years, fresh water flow has shrunk from more than 80 MAF to less than an average of 10 MAF. During the years 2000-2001 and 2001-2002, flow downstream Kotri barrage came down to 0.72 and 1.925 MAF respectively. The result is in the form of irreparable losses to the ecology, biodiversity as well as livelihood resources of the Indus Delta. The worst affectees are the deltaic mangrove forests, which provide important breeding zones of commercially imported marine fish and shrimp, which help the national economy earn $100 million from export earnings. Indus Delta mangroves used to occupy 345,000 hectares. However, recent estimates show that their area is now only 160,000 to 205,000 hectares. During the past 50 years, about 100,000 hectares of mangrove forest have been destroyed. Similarly, out of the 8 different species of mangrove at present, only 3 exist in the Indus Delta. Despite increases in the number of fishing boats as well as fishermen's population, the annual fish catch from the Indus Delta has gone down from 307,999 metric tons in 1993 to 25,169 metric tons in 2000. High-quality shrimp species Gyra has reduced from 10,000 metric tons in 1971 to 6,012 in 1999. Palla, the famous and tasty fish of Sindh, has almost vanished from the deltaic waters. Drastic reduction in Indus flows and silt deposition has given complete freedom to the sea tides to move towards fertile lands. The lands in proximity with the sea have been completely submerged by salty water. High tides of sea continue to submerge thousands of acres of land on a frequent basis. Seawater has also badly degraded the groundwater aquifers of delta land in millions of acres. Groundwater salinity has even reached near Kotri, more than 100 kilometers away from the sea. According to a survey conducted by the Irrigation Department and Board of Revenue Sindh, about 1.22 million acres of land in 2 coastal districts of Sindh, Thatta and Badin, have been badly degraded as a result of seawater intrusion. 6 talkas of district Thatta, Shah Bandar, Keti Bandar, Ghorabadi, Karochan, Mirpur Sakro, Jati and Badin, the Golarchi tehsils of district Badin, have been badly affected as seawater intrusion has degraded 50 to 70% areas of majority of these talkas. In total, 159 days of 8 talkas have either been totally eroded or subsequently submerged by the sea. Besides, the onslaught of the sea has reached up to 34 kilometers inside the barrage command area. Previously, deltaic areas were considered the best grazing grounds for cattle due to their fertile land, green grassy pastures and mangrove forests. Herds of camel were left to browse on the many mangrove islands along the coast. However, with the reduction in fresh water, all the grasses and green pastures have vanished altogether, resulting in drastic reduction in livestock population.
असल किथा जा
असल यार वाले जाए
हिते घणे अरसे खां
हिते 1962 में आया
अच्छा इन खां पहिरीं जेको तव्हां यार में रहंदा हाणे उते छा पोजीशन आहे
उते कुछ भी ना है सही खारो पानी आ कुछ आबादी कुछ भी कुछ ना है
छो ये थियो
जो ये पानी जे वजह से थियो है पानी ना है आबादी ना है मुल्क में सब जमीन गैर आबाद बन गई माल मरी लिया पोछा भई हिते आयासी
हाणे हिते जी मच्छी पोजीशन कीअं
हिते मच्छी पोजीशन हेर कम आहे
पानी हिते भी असर कयो आहे
हिते पानी असां बिल्कुल ना है पानी असीं टकूं लारायूं था तॾहिं पियूं था
अच्छा मच्छी दरिया पानी न हुजण सां मच्छी ते असर पए थो
बिल्कुल पए थो
घणा माण्हू तव्हांजा हुतां हिते लॾे आया
सभु लॾे आया को पुते कोन्हे हाणे छुटो छुटो को घर किथे को आहे
Are testimony to the fact that there once did exist prosperous communities. A large number of people have migrated to urban areas, Thatta, Badin, Karachi and other areas. And those who live in such degraded regions are experiencing the worst form of poverty and deprivation. Buried under heaps of loans which they had taken due to reductions in their earning, the local communities are passing lives of misery and bondage. Despite working day and night on the fishing grounds on their degraded agricultural lands, these people are unable to make both ends meet.
गरीब मारो आटे में मजबूर है बीमारी हुई पानी की वजह से मिठो तो पानी आए कौन हाँ मारू बेचारा तकलीफ में के मरी भी आन के बीमार भी आन हाँ बच्चा स्कूल में ना पढ़ाई तो कोने चलो भाई भाई बच्चा वापस अचन था सॼो ॾींहुं खारे पानी में बच्चा वेजन सुधार हो छो वेंजन असांखे हुकूमत मदद करे स्कूल दे समय तो को सारो ना है असांखे पैसनि ते पानी वठूं था हाँ पैसो आए तो पानी वठूं था न तो मथे वेठा आहियूं मच्छी वारा माण्हू आहियूं मच्छी मिले थी त मानी बि खियूं था मच्छी नथी मिले त मानी बि नथा खियूं मच्छी कोन्हे दरिया बि जवाब ॾेई छॾियो आहे
Extreme poverty has compelled the people in many areas to even eat snake-like sea species and plant pollen as food in many areas. All the water channels and Indus creeks are submerged by seawater, and the groundwater aquifers are filled with salinity. There is no water even for drinking. The communities are dependent on water tankers being run by influential businessmen to sell water, costing the poor communities rupees 20 to 30 per plastic can. Drinking water shortages have invited all the water-related diseases. Diarrhea, gastro, malaria, typhoid, hepatitis, tuberculosis, and skin diseases are common. Women and children are the worst affectees. However, the despair in the eyes of the poverty-stricken indigenous communities of the Delta certainly pose some questions. Is it the process of just development to destroy one's house to build a house for another? Is it equitable development to snatch morsels of food from one's mouth to feed others? Is it the degradation of natural ecosystems, biodiversity and natural livelihood resources a sustainable method of development? It is high time for all of us to think. Can't we, as a progressive nation, fulfill our commitment made in the Water Accord of giving proper Indus water share to the deltaic region and save Indus Delta, its natural resources and indigenous communities? Can't we share the natural resources of our country on the basis of equality, as is the message of Almighty Allah, the creator of such resources?